should have the words in front of you because it's so beautiful, so incredibly beautiful. The words are like staggering. He caused them, this is the waters of lying, he caused them to wander astray in a trackless waste with no way, bringing low the everlasting heights, abolishing the pathways of righteousness. The pathways of righteousness, I have to tell you, according to this document, not to me, I don't follow any law, but it doesn't matter what I do. It's what this document says, to see what it thinks. The pathways of righteousness are the Mosaic law. Mosaic laws. And remove the boundary marker, which the first, you see, the answer, the first, we're the last generation, had marked out as their inheritance. And because of that, like the Deuteronomic blessings and cursings, he called down, because they strayed from the law, he called down on them the curses of his covenant and delivered them up to the avenging sword of vengeance of the covenant. That's a big, big, big delivering up there. You count the delivering ups, I mean, you'll find about 6 of them in this document. I love this. This is the common language from document to document to document. Okay, so the establishment people say, oh, this is 2nd century BC because we found one version of this which had a handwriting that was older than the others. Older according to their paleographic sequences. But who knows if their paleographic sequences are correct. Could have been a conservative scribe, vis-a-vis a younger scribe. Maybe the writing went backwards. Who knows? Paleography is not an exact science. You don't have enough exemplars from a given period to tell what the different paleography might be. These are the only documents we have. They just threw them up and made a straight line and said, oh, this looks older, this looks newer. And they compared them with 2 documents, one written around 2nd century BC and one written around 2nd century AD, and then they had one exemplar. I felt like saying to the guy over in the discussion yesterday, we were having how many paleographic documents do they have from the 2nd century BC that you can tell me that the War Scroll is not 2nd century BC? Because we were arguing about the War Scroll, and it talks about the Nasi Kol Ha'edah, and on the Bar Kokhba coinage, Bar Kokhba calls himself Nasi. I don't say the War Scroll is 2nd century AD, I'm talking about not BC, AD, but you can't go by paleography. In the best of all cases, it might help you, but you may be totally off. Morton Smith, a famous scholar who visited Mount Athos in Greece, said that the monks there, I think Hippolytus was found, by the way, at Mount Athos in Greece. It was a famous old Greek Orthodox monastery on a kind of promontory island. The monks there were writing in handwriting styles for over 1,000 years old. So book hands, as they call them, writing styles are notoriously stubborn. They don't just develop rapidly in a moment, and some scribes can be writing in a classical style, for hundreds of years later. That's just a nonsense argument. Why do I say this is 1st century AD? Because we actually have one document or 2 from 1st century AD that is using the characters in this particular document. And they're in a present context. And we can prove from internal evidence that those are 1st century AD documents. Some of the Pesharim. And so look here, that's the point. All these sectarian documents are written almost in the same period because they have the same characters. The liar, the teacher of righteousness, and so on. And a third, the seekers after smooth things. Now we know the seekers after smooth things in the Nahum Pesher come after the Greeks and are in the period of at least Alexander Onias, if not later, and do represent the Pharisees in the Nahum Pesher. So we have ideas that move from document to document to document. The same ones. For they sought smooth things. This established. Don't forget, Paul tells you, what is he? A Pharisee of the Pharisees. Brought up at the feet of Pharisees, he claims. To my mind, this document is attacking both normative Pharisees, Jewish Pharisees, and if you like, Christian Pharisees. I don't think Christianity has been born yet. but Christianity, if you like, from teachers who claim a Pharisaic orientation. And I don't mean a Jamesian orientation. It's all been flipped. It's very difficult to explain how complex this is. So anyway, and so it's how do you expect the public to really understand these things? It's much easier to talk simple things. Anyway, so now it's because they saw smooth things and chose the fair neck. A quote from Isaiah 30. And here's an important thing. They turned the normative things around. They justified the wicked and condemned the righteous. The gospel said, one lost sinner in the wilderness is worth 99 righteous ones, which is why you have the Salvation Army going down into the Bowery beating drums trying to save all the fallen people. I'm not against the people that are in bad times, the prostitutes, the drug pushers, the derelict, whatever. I mean, the alcoholics, whatever. Okay, it's nice if you can save one. I'm not down on them particularly. I feel sorry for any human or animal creature. But I don't come that person who's been righteous all his life. That's contempt for the people who see following the law. That's what that's all about. That's Jesus being shown to have contempt for the righteous ones who call themselves righteous according to the law. As Paul says, we are all Gentile sinners and so on and so forth. Because according to Paul, we are born in sin. I don't think in the normative Palestinian idea, you're born in sin, because if you're born under the covenant, you're not born in sin. You're born under the covenant. This is a new Pauline view for people not born into the covenant, and people he's taking his ideology out. So I'm not against or for them. I'm showing that in terms of the Palestinian situation. So I said this to my mind is against people trying to